Please put your hands together for Tom McCarthy.
No, I thought me and my siblings were the only ones who looked at each other's buttholes. You meet so many like-minded people in comedy, don't you? All right, I'm going to do something out of character this evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to start my performance tonight with a little bit of a boast. Guess who is down 2.5 pounds since January 1st, huh? 2.5 pounds in 33 days. Feel my face is thinning out a little bit, getting light on my feet. It was not easy. I got food poisoning on Monday. I shit my pants in urgent care. Got terrible stand-up comics insurance. They made me clean it up myself. What? So happy to be in Traverse City. We were supposed to be up here on New Year's Eve, and the show got canceled for a couple of various reasons, and I had to stay home with my family for the first time in 15 years on New Year's Eve. Watch the ball drop from New York City. Did you people know that Dick Clark doesn't even host Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve anymore? What the fuck have I been, living under a rock? That's Seacrest up there. I don't care for that asshole. I do not like Ryan Seacrest. Fuck Ryan Seacrest. Come on, Traverse City. Those used to be some happy childhood memories for me, sitting between mom and dad, watching Dick Clark count it down from Times Square. Does anybody remember the year that he missed the number 7 in his countdown? He went straight from 8 to 6? Well, that's funny as shit. Come on, Dick Clark, stroke or no stroke, you gotta nail that, man. Where's the pride anymore? Someone's gonna pay you a couple $1 million to count backwards from 10 on TV? You're gonna fuck it up on me, Dick Clark? I can count backwards standing on my... I've got several field sobriety tests that prove. 9, 8, 6. Just motored straight through it. He sure as hell did. All right, so I think I'm going to share some enlightenment with my new Traverse City friends on a Friday night. I know there's been some daddy issues explored in this performance space tonight. I think I'll start moving in that direction myself. It's recently, I've figured out what aging is. I know we've got various ages in this group. It looks like a very mature crowd, and I'm grateful for that. But here's what the aging, wherever you are in this journey of life, here's what the aging process is. It's very simple. From cradle to grave, each and every day, everyone in this room is morphing into either their mother or their father. It's as simple as that, right? And if you're really unfortunate, really fucked up, you're turning into both, right? I mean, I love my parents. I hope everyone does. Well, not necessarily love my parents, but love your parents. But everyone at some point in time in life says, I'll never be like my old man. I will never be like my mother. But as we sit here in this space tonight, it is happening. It is happening. I've noticed, I'm totally turned into my dad. I've really noticed it like in the last year or so. Like weird things. Like lately, whenever I go to speak now, I always clear my throat, just like my old man always did. Some stupid bullshit's about ready to fall out of my face. Just do really odd stuff like him. Like, here's a great example. Whenever I go and spend more than a few dollars on anything, I always got to get 3 quotes. Get 3 quotes, son. Don't be a sucker. Don't let them beat you out of your hard-earned cash. Always get 3 quotes. My pre-show ritual for years, whenever I have a show, and I get into whatever town, I've got to have a medium vanilla latte. Okay? So I get to Traverse City yesterday, and I go to Bigby, I go to Starbucks, I drive down to McDonald's. I waste 45 minutes and a couple gallons of gas to save 35 cents on a coffee. Well done, Pop. Your son is an informed consumer. What else? Oh. Whenever a car that I'm not familiar with uses my driveway to turn around in, I absolutely lose my shit. Who do we know's got a brown Buick? That drove my dad crazy, man. Do not turn around in our driveway. Our dining room table faced the street. My daddy, get up, look out the blinds, get the kids to the basement. I thought we were mobbed up. I was like 18 years old. I thought we were in witness protection. I do the same things. Last Sunday, we're having family dinner, and some kid, like a teenage boy, he was driving one of those little Jeep Liberties, and he just pulls into the end of our driveway, and he's just sitting there, like looking down at his phone for like 5 minutes. I'm freaking out. I yell up to my wife, "Baby, get my pistol!" I almost shot a lost DoorDash driver in the face. So I'm turning into my old man. But if I'm turning into him, I'm okay with that, because he was a fine man. He's a good man. Lived a long life, faced a lot of adversity. Like a lot of people who live a long life, he'd have a share of ups and downs and just dust himself off. The biggest event that happened in our life when I was 4, my brother was 5, we lost our mother. She died in an accident. And my dad had to raise 2 little boys on his own in the 1970s. And I'm telling you what, ladies and gentlemen, did a pretty good job. I'm a stand-up comic, and my brother's incarcerated. Knocked it out of the park, Pop. One of my earliest memories, about 4 or 5 months after our mother's accident, my dad was doing his best he could to keep his shit together and have structure and some normalcy in our life. So on a Friday night, he decides to take my brother and I out to the movies. That's the good news. The bad news is, he took us to go see Bambi. And the first time I told him I shrank this, I thought his eyes were going to bug out of his head. I haven't had a copay in 10 years. This one's on me, kid. Yeah. Was there not a Rotten Tomatoes or a Siskel and Ebert in the 70s? Can we find out what the fucking movie's about, Dad? Yeah, let's bring 2 boys who just tragically lost their mother to a cartoon about baby deer tragically losing its mother. It's no wonder I'm messed up. The previews were promising. But the scene, man, when those hunters go after Bambi's mom, I lost my shit. I jumped out of my chair. It was a theater like this. I'm bawling my eyes out. I go running out of the theater. My dad's chasing after me. I made it as far as the lobby of this place, and I just collapsed in a heap in the lobby, just bawling my eyes out. And the sweet teenage girl who was working the popcorn stand, she said, "Sir, is everything okay? Is your son all right?" And my dad said, "Yeah, it's just that he lost his mother in an accident a few months ago." And she said, "What the fuck you bringing a Bambi for? Are you some kind of retard or something?" It was the 70s, you could say retard. It had a whole different connotation. People tightened up when I said, "Apologies to the retards, I'm sorry." I can't say that word anymore. I remember the popcorn girl, she said, "Do you want that child to grow up to be a stand-up comic, sir?" Everyone talks about being triggered, right? It's such a big thing now. Triggered, right? Triggered. You know what? Try being triggered by deer and living in Michigan. It took me 8 hours to get here from Ann Arbor yesterday. Another one? You people are fantastic. This is wonderfully weird and fun. How about all my talented friends here? This has been great. You know, we all know each other, but we don't get to see each other very often because we're all at various spots, so it's great having everyone here. I walked over here and from the hotel, and I just knew that we were at the Old Town Playhouse. And as I was walking here, I saw so many Buicks and Oldsmobiles in the parking lot. I thought, are they like shooting a movie from 1988 in here? And now when I see our demographic here this evening, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Where in the hell do you get an Oldsmobile serviced anymore? I'm gonna stuff my Oldsmobile in a time machine and take it to 1988 and get the oil changed. Grew up in a very laissez-faire household. My dad did the best he could. Didn't have very many rules, God bless him. Really, only main rule he had is he was a big, I'm only going to tell you once, kid. I'm only going to tell you one time. What a bunch of bullshit expectations to put on a 15-year-old. You gotta tell a 15-year-old something several times, don't you? My main job when I was 15 years old, my main chore around the house is I had to clean up Daffy's shit. Daffy was our sweet little black lab, and Daffy had big old lab shits. She shit all the time. Our whole backyard was full of little piles of perfectly symmetrical Daffy shit. And it was very important to my dad. When he would come home from work, he would say, now are you staying on top of the dog shit? I was like, yeah, I'm staying on top of the dog shit, Dad. Hope you had a great day. You know I'm only going to tell you one time. This is the third time you've told me once, okay? You've told me 3 times this week one time. It was real important for him to get that dog shit cleaned up. And of course, I always forgot, or I'd blow it off, or a combination of both. And one time I went about 2 weeks without touching a pile of dog shit in the backyard. And I went out on a Saturday afternoon with my friend Andy. We went out, I was gone all afternoon. We went to the mall and we went record shopping. That's how old I am. That's like a quality 1988 day. And when I got home that evening, I went upstairs and I go to my bedroom, and there is a big brown paper bag sitting on my bed. And my first thought was, yay, donuts! I thought they were cider donuts. It was the fall. There was grease bleeding through the bag a little bit, you know, like good cider donuts. And then it occurred to me, like, when has Dad ever surprised the family with cider donuts? And if he did, why would he hand deliver a special bag all the way up to my room? And that's when it occurred to me, they weren't cider donuts at all, ladies and gentlemen. That psychopath spent his Saturday afternoon, one of his only 2 off days of the whole week, spent his afternoon cleaning up dog shit, putting Daffy's shit in a bag, and putting it on my bed. No wonder I'm screwed up, ladies and gentlemen. No wonder I bare my soul all over the Midwest for money. What the hell? I told you I was only going to tell you one time, kid. Well, God damn it, Dad, I'm 15. Was anybody in here ever 15? Yeah. Did they have 15 when you people were growing up? Do you remember how much you had clattering around in your brain at any given moment when you were 15 years old? No, yeah, Dad, let me stop thinking about pussy for a second to clean up Daffy's shit. I'll get right on it. Man, I'm 50 now. You tell me something one time, I'll nail it. There's never anything on my mind anymore. There is nothing going on up here. You tell me one time. We had lunch yesterday. I ordered fajitas. The waitress brought it up. She said, "Sir, be very careful. The platter's hot." I nailed it. I didn't touch that goddamn thing for 45 minutes. There was a dicey moment when the margaritas came. Oh no! I just pulled my sleeves over my hands and woo! But she only had to tell me once. Oh, when I was 15, if it's such an important job, don't give it to a 15-year-old. Clean up your Daffy shit yourself, Dad. And it didn't work. It's not like it solved the problem. I kept forgetting. Like a month after the bag of shit on my bed incident, I blew it off for like 10 days this time. And it was a Friday evening. I knew my dad was going to be home like in 10 minutes. Like, oh my God, I just knew he was going to check. I knew he was going to check. So in a panic, I go running out to the garage and I grab his favorite pair of gardening gloves. And I put them on. I just went out in the backyard, just picking up Daffy's shit and throwing it over the fence into the neighbor's yard. Cleaned up the whole yard in 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. And sure enough, my dad, I saw the lights of his car pull up in the driveway. He goes out, he inspects the yard, he comes in, he pays me one of the few compliments I got at that stage in my life. He's like, "You're doing a good job of staying on top of the shit, kid." I said, "Hey, Dad, you don't have to tell me twice." Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I've had a